and look at the NAIMOS and its impact on the fight against galamsey. Now, you've seen on the papers, the Ghanaian publishers say NAIMOS leads major anti-galamsey raid, and it says in a dramatic and uncompromising sweep against the forces destroying Ghana's environment, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NAIMOS, task force has struck hard, arresting foreign nationals, dismantling illegal mining camps, and sending a resounding message that the era of impunity in the galamsey trade is ending. We've been joined by Pakwesi Shandov, who is a spokesperson at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Pakwesi, grateful for joining us here. So, I mean, we read that NAIMOS is doing a lot of, arrest and a lot of operations on on galamsey side. Where have they been in the past week, and what has been the story like? Where do we expect them to be now?
Brace, good morning to your very good self and to the rest of our listeners who are connected to this all-important conversation. I want to start from the last part of your question, the question about where the NAIMOS task force are going or they will be now. When it comes to the operations and the movements of NAIMOS, we always want to keep it under wraps because first of all, as their mandates would prescribe, their activities are intelligence-led. And second and most importantly, we also do not want to be risking failed swoops where the illegal miners will have foreknowledge of their arrival and therefore they would even so, even though as I speak to you now, they are embarking on a very important assignment at the moment.
Okay.
I think of security, I would want to withhold that information. But just this morning, there is a fresh update that is a continuation of what we had yesterday.
Okay.
To you, yesterday, for example, there was an operation at Cape 3 Point Forest Reserve. I want to believe that perhaps you are familiar with that particular enclave in the Ahanta West municipality. It was a very successful operation. A total of 28 young men involved deeply in illegal mining were immediately arrested. As I speak to you, they've all been handed over to the district police in that particular enclave. It's a story that I'm sure would circulate from this morning all the way to the afternoon and the rest of the day. In fact, there's another operation too whose update is likely to come today. So this, in addition to the arrest of the Chinese yesterday and the one prior to that, and then perhaps per my take and analysis, the biggest one within the week has been the Abosso strike, the one that happened at the Presiahuni Valley district. That, of course, also rounded up hundreds of illegal miners and other miscreants who were also engaging in other forms of illegality. So altogether, there is evidence to the fact that NAIMOS is very much on the ground, doing so much. Yes, it has not been a smooth sail. There have been a couple of difficulties here and there, but collectively and comprehensively, there is the new era of momentum, and that is why here at the ministry, we are certain that the fight against illegal mining very soon will be a thing of the past. I just want to chip in this before the conversation continues. Whenever we effect arrest of this nature, the obvious question that pops up is that, well, you are only tackling the small boys, as the president would put it. You are only grabbing the ground troops. You are not going after the kingpins because it is the kingpins who are the actual instigators and the facilitators. So why are you leaving the financiers and you are only going after the small boys who really are not the big fishes in the arena? The truth of the matter is that galamsey is a very complex enterprise, and most of the big fishes, of course, are connected to the corridors of power. Some of them have various degrees of influence, even outside of Ghana and even the continent and all of that. It's a very complex web. So if you want to deal with the kingpins, the protocol or the duration or the strategy, of course, will be lengthier, if not more complicated. The good news, however, is that as of just yesterday, we were able to make some inroads with the strategies to apprehending them. Because you remember that even the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission had cause to mention the other day that some of the small boys have taken blood oaths not to disclose those who actually sponsor and finance them. But right now, there is a mechanism to ensure that every single kingpin would also be named. And so that one is also a matter of time. And so I'm just saying that to top up the progress that we have made so far. And so it's not as though we are only focusing on the little fishes and then allowing the big sharks to rather grow and then produce more smaller fishes. As we progress, we'll name all of them, we'll grab all of them, and we'll prosecute everybody who is involved in this environmental destruction.
So what was the total number of people who have been arrested so far?
Okay, so I want to start from this morning. This morning, like I said, we've been able to arrest 28 persons have been arrested.
Is it the 3.1?
Yes, the Kim. Yes, the Kim.
That was yesterday, huh?
Yeah, that was yesterday. Now, in the Aboso exercise, that was some 3 days ago, we rounded up a total of 100 people. But it is when we were done filtering the numbers, we realized that not all of them necessarily were illegal miners.
Okay.
Because I think I've earlier explained on this platform, in that particular enclave, there are gamblers, there are drug dealers, there are all forms of criminals have taken a home in that particular place. So after we had done the filtering, of course, but I'm going to deal with all of them anyway. But after we have done the filtering, the 100 dropped a little. So we'll be able to give confirmation on that, hopefully by close of day. Because after you are done the filtering, you realize that some of them actually come to the camp to come and smoke, to come and buy drugs, and then they some come to come and gamble, and then they move away. Some come and trade in other illegalities, and then they vanish after the period. So you cannot add them to the bracket of illegal miners. But by close of day, hopefully, we'll be able to supply the numbers. Now, if you add the arrest of the Chinese as well to the 28th this morning, and then let's say presumptively they're almost perhaps maybe 70 or 80 today, we are looking at very good numbers. So in all, perhaps something above 100. Today we'll provide the full details so that we don't do any form of speculation whatsoever. Indeed, even yesterday, I mean, beyond the Chinese, there was also another operation. Sometimes during the investigative process, you want to be fair, but you also want to be very fair as well, so that you do not unduly prosecute anybody. Even in one of the operations yesterday, forgive me, the location has skipped me a little. A couple of people were also arrested. They were the ones whose faces were muddied and all of that. I'm sure we saw the pictures around. That one was in excess of 50. I forgot to add that one. That one was in excess of 50. So, Brace, altogether, the numbers basically for now, let us hold exceed 100. But today, it is an assurance that will provide the specific details. The reason sometimes we have a challenge providing the details is because of the filtering and the sorting. Some of them are just sometimes escorts. If I say escorts, they just come to the place, they are walking, but you go.
Okay.
So
for those who will confirm that they are actual galamseyers, what happens?
Right. No, so for those who would be confirmed, in fact, for the Chinese national, for example, when we confirmed them yesterday, they were brought to the NAIMOS headquarters here in Accra, and they already have been lined up for prosecution. For those that we are going to subsequently confirm, now the moment you are confirmed, the prosecution begins. In fact, if at this point we had been able to pass the proposition on cabinet table for the creation of the specialized tribunals, I'm sure by this time all of them would have been, prosecuted. Verdicts would have been given already. What government is now doing is that we want to now expedite the prosecution process, and so that's why the AG said that now they are going to be fast-track courts, tribunals that would promptly and immediately accelerate galamsey issues. Now we have not gotten there because yes, that proposition is still being exhausted through the regular processes. And so for now, what we can do is to hasten the regular process we have. And so believe you me, latest by next week thereabout, the prosecutions should begin, and then we should start, jailing those who have to be jailed, because we are in very serious times as of now.
But those who were arrested earlier, what is happening to their prosecution also?
Okay, so you have to, like I said, it is the filtering process is the most important process.
No, I'm not talking about those who were arrested last week. I mean, they've been arrested in the months prior, right? And I'm asking, what is the update on those arrests also? Okay, so past arrests that have been effected. When the Attorney General met with the CSOs last week, I think he provided an update to a response to that question. I'll basically reiterate what he said. So all of them have been filed. I mean, all of their dockets have been prepared. But again, because we do not have momentarily a specialized outfits to do with, the illegal mining offenses, sometimes the processing is a little bit difficult. And generally, that is the nature of the, the justice system here in Ghana. But we are given, I'm sure maybe I have the clearance to disclose this. There's been a meeting about the delay in the prosecutions, and we have given ourselves to hopefully the end of this particular month, so that we clear all of the backlogs. What personally, again, I am hoping is that even before the end of this month, we would have, exhausted the processes for the creation of the fast-track courts. Because if we had created them, there wouldn't even be a time where anybody will ask the question of the backlog of, offenders who have been arrested. It is just that the process is sometimes a bit very, 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 cumbersome in terms of the speed. It's not as hasty, as prompt as you would want it, just because of the nature of our justice system. But long and short of it is that hopefully by the end of this month, we won't have any backlogs again. And also, in addition to that, the fast-track courts and structures would have been established, so that the moment somebody is arrested, immediately across board, the person is processed, and then in a matter of 2, 3, 4 days, the person is jailed if the person is found to be truly guilty and offending the laws of the country environmentally. Okay. Pakwesi, I'm grateful to you for this morning.
Pleasure.
Pakwesi Shandov is a media relations officer with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Well, let us all play our part in this fight against galamsey. It's just dealing too much to our environment. So play your part wherever you are. And on this basis is the reason we are putting a question to the president. When are we going to see the particular action? NAIMOS is working, but really we need more of those actions, because the devastating effect to our environment is enormous. Today, I am not able to eat vegetables from anywhere. I don't even try it because of the sort of information we've been given. So, dear Mahama, what's happening?
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the galamsey fight.
Central region,
We've not exhausted the powers we even have.
Dear Mahama, while you hesitate,
pure water, 4. No,
using this water when I'm menstruating is a bit difficult for me.
It's going to be an outbreak of cholera. It has even started.
Water treatment plants collapsing under heavy silt.
We must ban it.
So we all drink.
We all drink.
When Ghanaians have voted for me, I will take that responsibility.
Dear Mahama, the time has come to take responsibility.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President.
Mr. President.
So, Mr. President.
President John Dramani Mahama.
Put a stop to illegal mining.
Dear Mahama, Stop Galamsey, a joy news series.